Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at the world's first Zygarde complete form in the Master League. Of course not mine, I have 5 Zygarde Cells and I'm not really playing Roots. But here we're gonna take a look at some gameplay that got sent to me with the Zygarde complete. Also fully maxed out, and yes, like it might seem sus, but I even went through their profile on Twitter. They're just hardcore players. And it's totally possible to just go around, do 3 Roots a day, and you get your Zygarde Cells. It's not really that much to ask for. For me, I'm just lazy for it. But let's take a look at the gameplay here. We want to see today, of course, if this Pokemon is worth to get for the Master League. And as you're going to see here right now, this Pokemon is getting to around 4,200 CP, which is decent, but not too wild as well. The Draco Meteor gets shielded here, but we're gonna see from the opponent as well the Sky Attack coming through. Lugia is of course a little bit nerfed this time around now because of the recent Sky Attack nerf, but we're gonna see now in action the Zygarde complete form, which can take the Aeroblast like it's nothing. It is bulkier than a Lugia, by the way. Like, this Pokemon is bulkier than Lugia, which is absolutely wild. Here we're gonna see now the matchup against the Palkia. You could have went for the Earthquake here, which would have been the better play to go for, or swap out into the Zacian, which would have been also better off most likely. But let's see here, we're gonna see actually a debuff, which is kinda cool, and the Heatran coming back now against the Zacian. While you're going to have a shield advantage, that's going to be fairly decent for you, but still you're going to have to be a little bit careful about the Palkia lurking in the back, as this is going to get the knockout against the opponent, which is amazing. You win CMP, which is super important because you need the shield, and the opponent decides to forfeit, as there was nothing they can do anymore. Let's take a look at the next opponent. We're going to have the Zygarde against the Ho-Oh. Great lead for you. Let's see what's swapping in. Nothing is swapping in. The opponent stays in. It was a little bit of a lag. I didn't look at any of the gameplay prior, by the way. Like, this is all completely new for me because I wanted to see how strong is Zygarde really. And yeah, you're gonna see the debuff here from the opponent's Sacred Fire, which is okay for you. You can still just go for a charge move, get the shield, and honestly, you can tank anything. You can even tank a Brave Bird still. Fairly certain Brave Bird is not going to knock you out. It doesn't even put you into the red health yet. It's absolutely madness. Like, honestly, this Pokemon is super bulky. Bulkier than a Lugia and still so spammy. Like, it has a super good moveset. It is having a decent typing basically as well, with Ground and Dragon only being double weak, of course, to the Ice typing. It's just so strong. We're gonna see the Dialgas here going to be able to go for an Iron Head against the opponent's Ho-Oh. This should be a fairly decent one for you, as we're gonna see the shield coming up. And are you gonna shield this next move up? You could let this, or you even get to the Iron Head. The opponent makes a huge misplay here. They definitely had already the energy to get to a charge move, and like this game is over. The opponent decides to forfeit, and we can move on to the next game coming up. We're gonna take a look here now at the next game. We will see the opponent getting up against, who is the sad person that has to deal with the Zygarde. We're gonna see a Mewtwo in the lead. This is going to be okay for you because you have super effective moves here like the Crunch, which can get the debuff as well. And let's see how much damage a Side Strike going to do against you. Doesn't two-shot you, not even close, and we even see now the Dialga coming in. You could have went for one more fast move, go for an Earthquake, but the opponent decides to shield anyway. And you decide to swap out now into the opponent's, into the Zacian here, which can use a shield if you want to. You don't, you can still swipe one anyway. And the opponent might be already in range for just one close comment here. Let's see if this is going to be enough. It's going to be close. It's barely not enough, but you can farm them down, but they're still going to get to a charge move. So one more Dragon Tail would have been ideal for you to get the opponent to perfect range to farm them down, but you're still going to be able to farm them down. You're going to go now for the Wild Charge against the opponent's Mewtwo. This does make a lot of sense here, as this is going to do some decent damage. Not going to knock them out, but you can just retaliate here with your Dialga most likely, which can resist the Side Strike. In comes now the Zekrom, where you can go for the Iron Head. Maybe force a shield from the opponent, but this is looking really good for you, as the Dialga basically beats both of the remaining Pokemon. You're going to go for no shield here against Ew, that was Outrage. This was not a Crunch. And you will be able to still just go for a Crunch here against the opponent, but they decide to forfeit anyway. Good game there. So, let's take a look at the next opponent. We're going to have the Zacian against the Zygarde here, which is a bad matchup for you, and in general a bad matchup for your team. You can let one move go through. This is a play rough. It is a play rough, and it still doesn't even two-shot you, which is absolutely insane, as you're going to swap into your Zacian here as well. We're gonna see the Mewtwo coming back in, but you can get a shield advantage here most likely, as you can just go for a double Side Strike against the opponent. Not double Side Strike, double Wild Charge here against the opponent, as you are gonna get to the next one in time as well. A little bit risky there to go for an extra fast move, but you're gonna get the shield advantage now. And I guess you're just going to keep the shield advantage. Okay, you're going to shield this move up. I guess you want to get the final shield from the opponent as well, or realign, because they can farm you down. It's going to be a little bit of an awkward one. you're gonna get the final shield, which is actually better for you, as you can now snipe the opponent with your Zygarde. And I guess you're going to let everything go through against you anyway, because they have to go for 2 player-offs in order to knock you out, or for maybe 2 close combats would work out as well. But as you're going to see, you can still reach the Earthquake in time. It's absolutely madness how bulky this Pokemon is, as we are going to see here as well that they have the best body ribbon, but they don't have it equipped on this Pokemon, which does make sense if you run a team with Dialga. You're still going to get some value out of your Zacian here, which is amazing, as you can still go for a Wild Charge as the opponent has to take this one. And now it's just Dialga in the back. Great play here, amazing play to be fair. You can farm them all the way down, now you just need 1 Iron Head in order to knock out the opponent's Zacian, and they can go for 2 moves if they want to, but you have still a shield and you can still survive a close combat, so there was nothing they can do. Moving on now into the next game, let's see which poor soul has to deal with a 100%, not 100%, but like a 100% complete form of the Zygarde, which is kind of cool, I think. So, we're gonna see another Mewtwo in the lead, another shiny with a best buddy ribbon on it, and the Sidestroke coming through, not gonna do too much damage here, and another Crunch is coming in next. This Crunch is going to get the defense drop as well, and again, you can easily survive another Sidestroke, showcasing how bulky this Pokemon actually is, but you're going to still use a shield. Didn't have to, but it doesn't really matter too much anyways. We're gonna see now the Dialga coming in from the opponent. We're gonna get no defense drop this time around, but with this Crunch, you're gonna put them into range where you can just go for a close combat and knock them out. And you're gonna go for this first, forcing you to use a shield against an incoming Iron Head afterwards, but you can definitely realign if you want to. This is the awkward thing, you lose CMP as a Zacian, so great play by the opponent here to wait until you throw your charge move, but now you can force another shield or the knockout. You're gonna get the knockout here from the opponent as they decide to swap back into the Mewtwo. Sadly, they can just barely get to another charge move. Great play by the opponent again here, as you're gonna go back into your Zygarde and then into your Dialga to counter the opponent's Kyogre here, as you're going to be able to go for an Iron Head immediately, as this is gonna get some damage onto the opponent and forcing the final shield from the opponent as well. You're going to take a Blizzard here most likely, is it? No, it's just the Origin Pulse, so that's going to be amazing for you, so you can just go for the charge move with the Iron Head here. So that's going to be amazing for you. Let's take a look now what you're gonna do next. They're going to be just the Mewtwo with 1 HP in the back, and we will find out what team we're going to have to encounter next game here. Let's see what they're going to run. Definitely Zygarde so far, very bulky Pokemon. It's not as overpowered as I thought it would be, but here we have a great matchup for you. Like literally you completely demolish opponent's Giratinas. You have super effective damage with your charge and fast move, while the opponent only has neutral damage against you. And as you can see here, the Shadow Ball barely touches you, which is just so great to see. So this is literally hard countering Giratina so hard, as we're gonna now see the opponent's Dialga swapping in. You're gonna go straight for the charge move. Okay, there's something that I did not really expect here. It's just safer to just go up and build to 2 ones here, but I guess you're just gonna go for, oh, you're gonna go straight for another one. That's kind of interesting, but I still feel like it's the smartest choice for you to just shield this next move up here. As, yeah, again, both of your Pokemon in the back are part Dragon type, so you don't really want to get damage from the Dialga. They're still going to outspeed you, but you're still going to be able to realign by using another shield here. Still, you could have overfarmed by a little bit, because at the end of the day, the result is kind of the same, just that you have a little bit less health, as the opponent was able to get to another move. That was a swap that I didn't even see there, so the opponent was able to swap out into their own Giratina, as they are running a triple Dragon line, which is kind of funny. We will see the charge move coming through from the Dialga. The Reshiram doesn't get to a charge move. I thought they would be able to easily get to another one, but you can still try to go for the Draco Meteor, and the Zygarde didn't even have to do that much here in this game, so we can move on into the next one. Dialga was able to pick up the cleaning KOs at the end there, as we will see now what is coming up next. Honestly, Zygarde though, definitely a Pokemon that you want to get if you can get this one. For me, of course, I am too lazy for this one. Also, we don't really have that many routes in my city, and yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of the route feature in general. I like to just wander around in-game. Let me know in the comment section, though, how many Zygarde cells do you have right now? Because you saw in the beginning, I have 5, because I don't really play it too much. But here we saw a great shield by this Zygarde player here, as we saw the Ice Beam coming through, which would have been, of course, double super effective. And now we're gonna see the Crunch coming in, getting the shield as well. You have to shield again, I guess. No, Ice Beam is still not getting the knockout. Double super effective Ice Beam from a Mewtwo is not enough to knock out the Zygarde complete form, showcasing the insane amount of bulk here, which is just wild. We're gonna see the Dialga coming back in here, as we're gonna get into the Zacian. You should put them into kind of a range where like close combat should be enough again, or like get them very close to it. But we will see now in the back, most likely this is a Melmetal, I would expect at least. It is a Melmetal, it was just a pure Steel type there. So sorry, I'm not able to read the language that's on the screen. I don't know what it is. I think it's Korean, like, I don't know, but definitely interesting here. We're gonna see the rock side first. Now this is going to be most likely a superpower. Oh no, it's not another rock side bait. This is amazing for you. You can just go for the Iron Head now, force a shield on the knockout. And this is looking great for you right now, as you're going to be able to go for the Iron Head, get the knockout here, and you're still going to be able to reach another charge move with your Dialga. But you have to be a little bit careful, as the opponent's Dialga charges up some extra energy here, but they decide to let this move go through, which is actually better for you, because now you can just go for the full farm down. And honestly, I felt like the opponent's play was just to shield up and hope that they can get to 2 Iron Heads in time, but I guess this was not what they were thinking about. And we can now move on into the next game. Let's see what we're going to encounter in the lead here. Let's take a look at this. We're going to see a Giratina in the lead again. This is of course amazing for you, as you're gonna be able to just go for the crunch here. Super effective while you can take those Shadow Bolts. I don't think people are running Dragon Pulse nowadays, really, at least not in the lead. Like, if you use a Dragon Pulse on the Giratina, usually it's your safe swap. But we're gonna see here the crunch coming through. Not gonna get the drop there as far as I can see it, and you can now just go for the full farmland against the opponent. Such a dominant way to win this one here. As you're gonna see now, the Dialga came back in. Earthquake coming through. Please let this move go through. Please let them knock you. Ah, so sad, man. We're gonna still see now the Zacian swapping in, going for the close combat against the opponent's Dialga. They should be kind of unranged, not really, but you can now use a shield, and I think you can farm down before they can go for another Iron Head, which should be a perfect farm down for you. Let's see here. Yep. Oh no, you cannot. This is awkward now. Okay, never mind. They still survive with 1 HP again, like basically in the game before. This is very unfortunate. But you can still go for a charge move against the opponent's Giratina swapping in here, as this wall charge is going to be enough to knock them out. We see the final Pokemon being the, yeah, what's called the Togekiss. You're gonna go for 1 wild charge and you have to swap out into your Dialga, but you decide to stay in here, as you're going to try to catch a move, I guess? Oh, that's going to be a tough one. Can you catch a move from the opponent's Togekiss here? No, you cannot. There's going to be an Aurasphere most likely, unless they're running still Flamethrower. This is so nice for you, because if they went for Aurasphere, your Dialga would have been gone. That's why I thought that they had to swap out earlier, just to try to get there in time. But can you still survive 1 Charm here? You cannot. It's going to be a draw. So Togekiss, I guess, is... Honestly, Togekiss is the best answer for this Pokemon. Like, as soon as this Pokemon becomes a little bit more available for people, I'm fairly certain that Togekiss gets a huge role in the meta, being able to completely destroy this one, as well as it's going to have great matchups against other Pokemon in the meta, like a Groudon, for example, like any other, Dragon-type Pokemon. Togekiss definitely going to be very great. Here we're going to see a little bit of lag again in the beginning, having the Landorus against you here. Right now you can go for the Crunch, and this is going to get the shield from the opponent, as Dragon Tail is still chunking so much. I mean, like, this is the bulkiest Pokemon here in the meta, but it's still so strong. Debuff coming in from the superpower, and the opponent is going to be forced to swap out. Like, they already used the shield here, but look at how dominating this matchup is from the Zygarde. Zygarde is just going to town, getting the knockout and a shield advantage. You have still half of your health. You have, I think, a little bit of energy stored even, and you're going to get the shield advantage, and you can still go for a charge move against the incoming Pokemon. This just showcases how busted Zygarde is. Defense drop coming in. We're gonna get the final Pokemon out of here, which is going to be the MEWeedle. You're going to wait until they throw their charge moves, because if they go for the superpower, the Draco Meteor is going to charge so much, and yes, you can just go for the, or you're gonna go for the Iron Head instead. Oh, that's kind of interesting. I would have went for the Draco immediately, as the opponent going to no-shield this one anyway, but they're going to allow you to get to another move in time, which is amazing, putting them into farm down range for you, as they decide to go for another superpower. This is gonna get the knockout against you, but you're of course going to still, oh, you're actually going to sacrifice your Zygarde. You're still going to be able to easily survive that one for sure, and you can just swap out now into your Zacian, and Zacian is going to be able to clean this game. Without a doubt, you can just overfarm to 2 moves. The opponent is still locked into their Dialga. You can use a shield here. You didn't even have to use a shield, to be fair, but you can still use your shield there, and you can just go for 2 close combats. And this is all it takes to knock out the opponent's Dialga. Oh, this is really... that's not what you should have done. Most likely, you should have definitely went for the charge move immediately. But I guess, never mind, you can just overfarm to 2, or you just don't even do... I don't know. Like, I guess you're still going to be fine, but I could have played it a little bit better there at the end, I feel like. But that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for letting me showcase your battles here, by the way. And yeah, let me know in the comment section how many Zygarde cells you have. Check out the video on the screen right now, which is a legend team for the Great League that I played, which was really nice, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.